Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Too slow.
Yeah, fuck, I need a bite mic for this.
It's your boy Shill. We are on episode 3 of Netflix and Shill. As always, we got the crew together. We got Captain Coingy, we got Crypto Orangutan, and we got Crypto Verso here. And today, I'm super stoked to have CryptoBirb on the show with us today.
What up, guys?
Yo, welcome, Bird.
Guy's a legend.
Not a bird, it's a burb. You guys must learn that.
Yeah, it's
Get
Bird.
it right.
Why'd you keep calling him Bird now?
Guys, anyways, Burb, why don't you just start off and just give us a little introduction of how you got started into crypto, like what your expertise is and how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I started. Firstly, I had heard of Bitcoin as the main cryptocurrency like 5 years ago. I believe this was during my classes at my Warsaw University of Technology, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying have you heard about these Bitcoin issues and so on? And I actually didn't know what he was talking about. And I checked it actually, but this didn't grasp me, didn't grab my attention. And actually, the main motive for my crypto being here is the crypto orangutan, because we are a Polish mate, Polish friends actually, and we were driving actually to some conference on InfoShare, held in Gdańsk last year May, actually. And can you hear me properly?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were heading the conference for InfoShare to Gdańsk. And I remember orangutan sitting here on the phone for the very whole journey, very travel, to the Gdańsk, which was
I have trouble understanding. The mic is not working correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now.
Maybe try to.
Okay. So we were heading with my car, with Crypto Orangutan, to hit the Gdańsk InfoShare conference. And I remember him as we were driving 500 kilometers from the Warsaw, to Gdańsk by the sea. And he was constantly sitting on his phone and checking all the crypto stuff. And I got pretty interested in this topic. And yeah, they basically he might be the reason, the ignition reason for my being here. So yeah, and I started trading. Set up my first accounts on Bittrex, on Polish counters, and yeah, and I'm here today with you.
Word.
Glad to have you here, mate. So what are your thoughts on the outlook of crypto in general? Bitcoin especially right now. And yeah, how do you think? Yep.
When it comes to Bitcoin, what I can see, what I can tell is the mixed feelings inside the crypto community, because I believe the sentiment stage for the cryptocurrency market at this moment is the mixture of giant whales, of players that started trading a few years ago when the Bitcoin was pretty young, and moreover it is mostly it is the small fish, let's call it this way, not these whales but the opposite actually, the small fish, the so-called plankton, or I don't know how we can call it in English. For the players that roll with low funds, so that basically that increases volatility for the market. So what I'm seeing in this moment in general is a bit relief whenever Bitcoin moves any harder moves, which is $200 higher. So I can see all the alts pumping. Actually, not just significantly, but it's this more steady growth, not giant pumps. But I believe we are actually heading in a few weeks. In a few weeks, we're heading for the alt season.
I think that I've heard a lot of people have similar thoughts about that, for sure. you're the only one. We've definitely seen quite the pickup in their volume recently, with a lot of them really taking off. I know Ontology's been doing really good recently. A couple other favorites have really been kicking off as well. I know that one of the ones we were talking about here, XTL, has really been going off recently with 800% or some crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, over 1,000 even.
These are like, you know, like the single, you know, examples, right?
So what are your
like the single, you know, single coins only that pump? I mean, there's always something like that. wherever the market is, actually, there are still, you know, that's pump and dump groups and so on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what are your favorite picks for the upcoming alt season then?
When it comes to me, I would say the Blue Zell. The Blue Zell is a great project. I actually heard of it once because of the, again, Crypto Orangutans post or tweet. I can't remember clearly. But definitely, I would say it's like a coin and it's like a project with a great future. And yeah, I'm into it actually personally. So I believe that along, you know, going with the alt season to come, that I personally believe to come shortly. I believe, you know, this can give you like spectacular gains. So I'm holding with this one.
Cool. I dig it. Sounds like everybody's getting pretty bullish. Captain, how you feeling? How you still feeling a little bearish? You feeling bullish? What's your sentiment around the market?
Well, I'm very neutral on Bitcoin right now. I think that until we have this huge downtrend that we've seen, that we've retested about 3 times, and we have this huge uptrend as support that we've seen tested 3 times. And you know, neither of them are budging right now. So until one of those are broken, pretty much everything we see right now as far as Bitcoin goes is just chop and, you know, chop as we reach the end of this pennant. And when that pennant actually gets broken out of, that's when we'll see a serious Bitcoin market. And as far as alts go, I think that, you know, our buddy Moon Overlord said it very well. You don't have to have any raise in the total art market cap for alts to be pumping. You know, a couple could pump 10x, and then they go down, and then a couple others. And if you're actively out here making trades, you know, you can, you know, make a lot of money. And we've seen people be doing that recently. And so I think that, you know, as far as alts go, you know, it depends on what your definition of alt season really is. Because if it's everything, the whole market cap going up, then, you know, we're not there yet. It could be, as Birb said, right around the corner. I think that's pretty likely. But, you know, right now, this is a pretty good market to be trading. And I think that, you know, if you know what you're doing, it's not too difficult to be making a bit of money.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, you know, we've seen it. Like, the things are starting to pop off, and I think the people that are sitting on the sidelines right now and saying, "Oh, it's not alt season yet. Oh, this and that and this and that," I think they're missing out on opportunities. Now, that doesn't mean you just jump in and throw your whole portfolio into one coin, but you can hedge your bets and make sure that you are you're making good decisions like always.
Absolutely. So I think that, you know, offers a pretty good segue into going into, I know Birb mentioned BLZ, you know, going into what are our favorite alt picks right now. So I don't know who wants to jump into that.
Can I just make a quick point about the like state of Bitcoin and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it was Loomdar, or however you pronounce his name. He made a pretty good point on Twitter today. He made a point about how there's an overall real trend of bearness on Twitter, in my opinion, too. And I think there's probably a link between maybe quite a few people having to sell off some Bitcoin because it's just been tax season in the UK and the US. And I feel that like now that's over with. Maybe that might be a bit of bullish sentiment, but his tweet was pointing to like the fact that maybe all these people that are super bearish are just a bit salty. They had to sell their some of their Bitcoin during tax season, and they just hope it goes down more so they can get in, cheaper. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Personally, for example, I was told actually a few times that I'm bearish, for a reason, because I believe nobody's this bearish as I am, actually, this bearish as I am at this moment, because I'm constantly like telling you out, guys, that it's like the pre-panic stage for Bitcoin when it comes to my expectations. I mean, lots of people like tend to say that we've already had the panic, whereas I believe that this was not any close even to panic, because the panic would be for me when it like dropped down for about like $1,000 to $2,000 in 1-2 days or 3 days or even a week. This would stand like for the real panic stage. Moreover, as I was saying,
did we have that when we dropped to 6,000? I mean, that was pretty massive, and like
5.9.
Was that a question for me? Because I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, like what wasn't like the panic stage, like fell to the drop to the 6,000?
In my opinion, not. In my opinion, not yet. I mean, I'm not quite sure if you like followed my charting for Bitcoin lately, but I believe loads of trend lines actually from both upsides and downsides connected with in a mixture with Fibonacci lines, and actually the channels, the general trends for last 2-3 months. I mean, it all gives you like me the very clear scenario for Bitcoin to reach about 3.6 thousand dollars for per Bitcoin. And as far as I know, I've seen like dozens really of the OGs saying so, and lots of Twitter accounts like saying it's like the same goal, the same target for Bitcoin. So I believe this is not only my view on that. I don't know how much they support the opinion on my calls whatsoever, on my calls, but yeah, I tend not to pay to high attention to what people are saying, as I'm using my own gut feeling and the trend lines and charting and so on.
Yeah, but that's like the overall feel in the market that everybody expects 3,000 right now. Like every bearish thread there is, they're like noobs talking like, yeah, I'm waiting for 2-3,000, and the shorts are already at all-time high, and like the market, never the majority wins in the market. And as much as I think that this is nowhere near the bottom yet, I really don't think that we can touch 3,000 in a short term at least, unless we get like few months long consolidation with a slow bleeding, but that would mean that we would have some alt action anyway during the meantime.
No, firstly, the overall this whole scenario I'm saying would be like when the alt season starts. This would be like dictated by Bitcoin like getting pretty stable, whether it's a low stability. I mean, at this level of 4,000 or even 5,000. So it's not that low from here, from current market price, but yeah, I believe this BTC, Bitcoin lows of 4,000, they say, connected with altcoins getting like this, ending this belief, finishing this belief stage is all over the markets. I would say this would be the ignition point. So when the situation when alts are ready to pump, so ending the disbelief stage actually, finishing the disbelief stage, this must be supported by Bitcoin like being stable but low. This would be like this would ensure the market to grow market capitalization, because as you can see lately it's like less than a half, I guess, less than half or a third part for the current market cap that it used to be like 2 or 3 months ago, right?
Someone wrote, I'll ask you this, Monkey, because you mentioned taxes in Poland the other day. Someone in the chat wrote, regarding tax season, do you guys believe this will have a bigger effect on the overall market going into the next year? People got extremely wrecked and the secret is out. What do you think about that?
I wanted to talk about this, that like all the events in the past, like Chinese New Year and like whatever excuse people had to feel like this is a reversal. I think that taxes might actually be like the biggest of them all, because that's actually true. I mean, it's almost the same in every country, because not many countries have like small taxes on crypto. And in Poland, it's absolute madness right now. In USA, it's also the same.
But I would say still it's temporary, more temporary situation. And of course, I totally agree that it's bad condition and the market shakeout actually that might be pre-planned by the government, to enter the cryptos, because as a matter of fact, the cryptocurrency market and the blockchain technology itself is like the great point of interest for governments, for banking system, because they actually can like compete with them. So they can compete with blockchain. So the only way to compete like practically would be like to merge and to enter the market, to get it more controlled, I believe.
What about you, Captain Nye? What do you think the implications will be of all these people getting wrecked by taxes this year, this round?
Yeah, I actually have a contrary idea. I think that almost no one is going to be paying taxes anyway, because there's no requirement. So unless you're like a really big whale, and you have a lot of money to deal with, I just don't really see a lot of people paying taxes, because there's no way to prove that you have the money. Like, this is definitely not advice, but there's no reason why I couldn't, put all my money in a privacy coin and say that someone hacked it and not pay taxes on it. I could even probably claim it as a loss on my taxes. Like,
yeah, but majority of people are working out of Coinbase and stuff. Not many is like good enough to buy Monero.
Sure. But the fact is, the fact that it's possible and easy to do that just kind of makes it, it makes it unlikely that a lot of people are really going to get wrecked, especially if people need this money.
Yeah.
I think that the risk reward for not paying their taxes is probably going to lead them to not paying their taxes, which is, a dark thing to say, but I just think that's how it's going to be. And then I also think that, I don't know how this works in other countries, but for people's tax returns, once people get their tax returns, that money is going to go into crypto. And so I think that will actually end up helping. Helping the market.
I'm not a tax specialist or anything, but I think regarding the question I just read, I think it could be good for this upcoming year, for the simple fact you only get taxed, I believe, I'm not a tax specialist in the UK anyway, I'm speaking on behalf of the UK. You only get taxed on the Bitcoin you sell into fiat. So surely, okay, people need money, but it could also be a bullish thing. For example, me, I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin if I'm going to get fucked by a tax. I'll just hold it for a few extra years, So it could also be bullish if you look at it in that regard. So
yeah, I'm kind of with Captain on that. I think that in the short term, like, I don't think people are really gonna like care if they doubled or tripled their money. I think they're just gonna kind of ignore their taxes. I hate to say that, because I definitely don't advise that.
I mean, I know I have a lot of friends who are moving to Puerto Rico. Like, they're just like, you know what? I don't even want to have to think about it. Move to Puerto Rico. You don't have to pay any taxes at all.
I mean, I thought about it. That's actually definitely on my radar, because I think the people that are making big money and turning $1,000 into like $1 million, they're really looking at it being like, yeah, we don't want to get screwed over by the government. And I think this tax season is kind of the first step towards seeing what's actually going to happen in the tax realm with crypto. So I think this is kind of just like a little bit of like the warning phases. I think that we're going to see a lot more happen next year and in the following years. And it's going to get more and more and more strict. So this is a good test run, and anyone that's really worried about taxes, this is the time to start learning and reading up on either how to pay them and ways to get around them by terms of Puerto Rico and shit.
Do you reckon some countries will start lowering or changing their tax policies regarding crypto, considering, as Captain just said, he has friends going to Puerto Rico? Do you think countries will start competing against each other to get all these people to go live there if they have slightly less tax rates, like Holland, for example?
If I'm not mistaken, Portugal is also lowering taxes for crypto.
I imagine that there will be a huge market for, especially countries that are, need the economic stimulus of these, entrepreneurs moving there, because, it offers a huge money injection if they can get a lot of people moving there and bringing their money there. Obviously they don't get money from the taxes, but just by virtue of those people being there and starting businesses, it offers people jobs, just more general economy. I think that there will be a huge competition for that amongst smaller countries. Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at Malta and Binance moving there. Obviously that should create a few jobs. Talking about that, should we go to the next question? The next thing in the segment, what is most interesting in crypto news in the last 2 weeks? And yeah, just what was interesting you most in crypto news in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, let's start with Birb. Birb, what do you think? Crazy stuff's been happening in the last couple of weeks.
I guess I wouldn't surprise you guys, but as we were actually discussing this Polish government, giving the taxation for the cryptocurrency, and I believe it's like when it stays the same as it is right now, this would like kill the whole technology, the whole cryptocurrency hype all over in Poland. And actually would make dozens of players, in Poland, like move out to or register, or have their like virtual being up in other country. For example, Estonia, I believe. Estonia is the country where you can actually like issue the digital, how does it call it?
Citizenship.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was lacking the word. Digital citizenship. So I believe this would be like the trend, for example, when it comes to setting the digital citizenship for smaller countries like Malta, for example. Yes, I've heard lately that Malta is actually getting like very prepared for accepting the crypto sphere into its zones, on the basis of lower taxations as well. So I believe, coming back to the topic, I believe the Polish taxation, chaos made by the government, by the Ministry of Finance, issuing the suggestions how to tax up actually the crypto stuff. Yeah, this is like the most surprising and not equally not surprising to me.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Monkey, what are you thinking?
I would say that actually the Bittrex opening again is a big deal. I don't really care about the Soros and those other guys coming in, because obviously they are not coming in at the moment they announced it. But with Bittrex opening the exchange and the exchange crashing after 10 minutes, it shows you a lot how many people still want to get into crypto even at uncertain times like this. Especially that they're also planning to open the USD pairs with altcoins. I mean, I think we are pretty close to decorrelating from Bitcoin with at least this top 20, top 30 alts. And that's the main goal right now, just not to be dependent for the whole year with Bitcoin, but that you can actually play everything in its own cycles. So I think that's going to be pretty massive in a few weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the Bittrex and
Continue.
What about you, Nye? What in the last 2 weeks has interested you the most regarding crypto?
The Soros news. I know Monkey's right. Like he's not coming in immediately, but that's the most interesting to me because that shows that the big money is still looking at the space. You know, I think we all knew that, but the fact that it's actually in the
Explain a little bit, like to the people watching. Like,
guys, can you really like believe that Soros, such a whale, would like enter the crypto market at this very moment after the biggest pumps and so on? In my opinion, he was like so much into the financial markets that he was like unable to avoid, to try trading, within the origins of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. So I believe that the Soros has a like such a veteran for financial markets, such a whale would not enter like this late. It's like a few years back ago. I believe this was the time actually of him entering the market really. I mean, what would be the sense? What would be the point actually? I can remember him spreading some food about Bitcoin that this is all shit and not worth investment and time and so on. And
yeah, January he said it was a bubble.
And still, it's like playing with the market with humongous funds of him. So it makes actually no wonder to me that he's playing with us totally.
I don't think he's necessarily entering the market. I think that the news revolved around like he's allowing crypto trading to happen within like the people that he works with. And I'm not gonna say he's going out and he's buying 500 bitcoins right now or anything like that. But I think the news just itself is interesting. I'm interested by it because it does show that like if people are still thinking about the space. They're still like they still have their eye on the space. Whether he's entering or not, like there's no way to actually prove that. But the news just interested me, and it brought a lot of hype to the noob area of the space. So that kind of was positive.
Regarding, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about you? What's your thought on that?
Yeah. So for me, I mentioned it in the last podcast, but I'll just mention it again. I don't know if it was within the last 2 weeks, maybe a little longer. For me, the most interesting news is definitely Binance moving to Malta. And I also read, according to the CEO, Zhao, whatever his name is, the CEO of Binance, they're extremely close to securing a deal with local banks in Malta, which will enable, fiat deposits and withdrawals, which hopefully, as I said in the last podcast, will lead to Bitcoin movement and alts separating a little bit. So when there's Bitcoin crashes, the altcoins won't crash as much as they do right now. So that's the most interesting news for me personally. What about you, Captain?
I think that the Bittrex news was the most exciting for me because
you're not this original, man.
I unfortunately don't have anything original. That was what I was going to say.
Just kidding, because the Bittrex stuff is like all over the Twitter and that.
Yeah, well, because I have so many friends who I have, who are interested in joining Bittrex, and then all of a sudden there was this hype, and they were all excited, and so it was just big, and it was big in my life for no.
Were they interested in joining Bittrex or like trading crypto? Because in my opinion,
specifically Bittrex, because there are a couple coins that they were interested in getting there that they were unable to. So
yeah, see, for me, the Bittrex news didn't do anything. I was just kind of like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, same. I feel like everyone's just Binance is just. I don't think they'll ever get that market share that Binance took off them. To be honest.
I don't think so.
I don't know. People said that Binance cannot take Bittrex market and did it. So it changes very quickly. I don't think that we can. We don't even know if another exchange might not come in and took the market of both of them.
Very true.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm not like super invested in BNB for the long term. Like, I think it's a sweet coin. I love what Binance is doing, and BNB will probably like move very hard if they succeed. And Monkey, you're right. Like if like literally another exchange could come up tomorrow and be way better than Binance, and within the next 2 months could be the new leader. It's kind of what happened with Binance. So like,
Trade Ogre is the next Binance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trade Ogre, man. No,
I'm pretty sure XTL has been responsible for about 80% of their volume recently. So
yeah.
At least.
Would you say then, Captain, that investing in any crypto exchange coin is a bit of a risky investment? So Binance, you have Qcoin, you have like IDEX shares, all those kind of, would you say they're a bit too risky, or?
okay, well, that's a very hard thing to say because it depends on the exchange. There's some exchanges, for example, that I'm very bullish on because they are fundamentally so strong. For example, Binance and the Binance Bucks, the things that Binance has planned, it's impossible not to be bullish on, especially considering the market share they already have. They're launching a decentralized exchange. They're doing so much more with their, they're doing so much more with their exchange and their coin, and that, the Binance Bucks are going to act as the gas for their exchange. And so, that's all really exciting, and I'm very excited, or I'm very bullish on BNB. And similarly, hybrid exchanges. So, things like BlockX and Legolas. Yeah, I'm very excited about those, especially Legolas, considering that they have the Maycore partnership, which is a huge bank, and that's going to bring massive amounts of, institutional money into a lot of the alts. And some of the alts that they're adding are my favorites. For example, Dragon Chain. It's going to be the first really big exchange that lists Dragon, and especially considering the money that's going to be in that exchange, that's going to be great for a lot of some seriously good projects. So to answer the question succinctly, I am very bullish on a few specific exchange projects.
Yeah, because for example, KuCoin sucks as an exchange, but it has a lot of good projects. So like, you want to invest in KuCoin and wait for the projects to go to better exchanges, because I don't know, I've heard some reports that some of the utilities of the KCS are actually illegal. So like, yeah, I wouldn't count like on this being anything massive, but project wise, it is #1, at least for me right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, I only like it because it has Dragon.
It's a slightly more refined Cryptopia.
So guys, I'm having a question to you. What do you think about Polonix?
Oh man, the whole
Polonix, best exchange of like the last years, bro.
Man,
I actually love
that was the first exchange I ever had, other than Coinbase, where I brought my.
And I really like the user interface on Polonix. It's way better than what Bittrex had, and probably even Binance.
Yeah, the Bittrex exchange or Bittrex interface still sucks, unfortunately.
I remember when I went on Polonix at the start, I just went on all the coins and I clicked for the cheapest coin. I didn't even know really about market cap, and I saw Red Coin, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Red Coin. I remember.
RDD or whatever that shit coin.
I got a question for Birb, actually. Yo, Birb, I know you're like you're pretty damn skilled with TA and technical analysis and stuff. What do you rely on? Are you more do you follow the TA exactly, or do you kind of like watch the hype and follow that as well, or is it like a mix?
No, it's crypto. It's the volatility, so you can never actually rely on the technical analysis nor fundamental analysis itself. So it's all about still it's all about trading. I mean, trading in general, and especially trading the cryptocurrencies. Will always rely on using your psychology knowledge. I mean, about knowing the emotions of I'm actually the person personally who can tell is like has loads of empathy. I mean, I'm an empathic person, so it totally helps me out, to predict how the market behaves. It's all about, I believe, following the trends and mix it up with the feelings you can imagine actually for the current situation, and it's still like working actually. I mean, there are periods that technical analysis like hardly works, uh, because, for example, I'm having these classes about behavioral finance in my Warsaw School of Economics, and the classes are run by the professor who is like the totally opposite. When it comes to the technical analysis, he claims that this does not work at all. That it's like that you always actually have the 50-50 chance, for the market to go up or down. And actually, I'm pretty astonished, because I thought like what would be discussed during these classes would be the trading and the financial aspect of that, and connected with the behavioral knowledges and psychology elements and so on. And still, like, he gives all the most of the time, to comment on the technical analysis, so that does not work. So it's like weird. uh,
He
and
said
we
doesn't
will
work.
always we will yeah we will always have this this community divided between those who totally rely on technical analysis, and on the other side, on the opposite, that does not believe in the technical analysis itself at all. But it's still, I think, the closest and the most practical way to trade and to observe the cryptocurrency market, and would be like to stand somewhere in the middle, maybe not practically and technically in the middle, in the very middle of it, but you need to know the aspects of both sides. Those who don't, who will tell you that the technical analysis does not work at all, and still rely on, follow and observe how it gives. I mean, how people who totally rely on technical analysis, like, give it the topic. And I believe it's important, to keep in the balance, because you can never rely on technical analysis itself, or fundamental analysis, as I said, because you need to give the psychological aspect to that, for sure. You need to, like, give those unpredictable events, like crashing, this empty gox, like a few years ago, like hacking, being hacked, and so on. This like are events that influence the market, but are hardly predictable. I mean, so it's all the mixture of what I mentioned, actually.
Talking about TA and stuff, there's probably a lot of new people in here that don't really know much about TA. I know, Captain, you're really good with it. I'm gonna admit I'm not fucking that good at TA. And Monkey, and obviously Burb. Where did you guys learn your TA? And you, Nye, I'm not sure if you're like, you don't say you're a TA expert. Monkey, Captain, Burb. Where did you guys learn TA? Like, what would you give tips to people watching how they can go and learn TA to make, that, to get that balance that Burb's talking about?
Well, I mean, the place that I learned TA was through one book called The Handbook of Technical Analysis. It's literally some book that they use to teach people on Wall Street, like, easy to find, and then watching videos on YouTube of traders who are already out there, and then, of course, making a lot of mistakes and losing money. It was, a big process of trial and error, spending hundreds and hundreds of hours, staring at charts and trying to make sense of them. And then, after a while, you give yourself the basics. You just kind of learn. It's really not something you can be like, oh, what kind of technical analysis now? It's
Is this mic screwed up for anyone else?
Yeah, I can hear you, Captain, very clearly. It's
Your mic's a bit screwed up, bro. Robotic.
Yeah, mine too. He might be using the robotic effect.
Is it still doing that?
Yeah,
yes. Totally.
I ignore me then, someone else.
Yeah, so maybe I'll take it. It's pretty similar with me. I read only technical analysis by Murphy, and then I watched like the whole YouTube channel of what's his name, Karpenokon, like 33K by July, and basically like charted with every chapter that I read and like experience this if it works and not by myself like during time. I don't think that you can read 10 books and be just ready to chart. I think you'll learn a lot more when you just figure out by yourself with different indicators what actually works for you. I mean, there are people laughing on Twitter like, yeah, you don't use Recycle, it sucks, or you don't use Ichimoku Cloud because it sucks. But the truth is, like, if it works for you, then that's enough. I mean, everybody got a different TA strategy.
Yeah.
Just figure out what's really like matches with your results, and that's it. You really don't have to overcomplicate it. You can literally use only resistance support levels and still be more successful than dudes using like 20 indicators and one chart. I mean, it's still very, very basic. Like the more experience you get, the more basic you can basically chart and be successful with it.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, the more easy and am I still a robot?
No.
Okay. So, yeah, the more easy and natural it becomes. Because, like, right now, I can look at
you're
a
right.
God, what the hell?
Admit that you're a robot and stop it.
All right, well, just continue ignoring me then.
You're 100% robot, right?
Where's your TA skills, Birb?
But you guys all agree that anyone with an internet connection can easily learn TA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree. You know, with the exception of this empathy and this psychological, approach to all of that. I mean, trading really is all about the emotions. I mean, only few like players, a small percentage of players to the cryptocurrency market is like rolling and playing and trading with low level of emotions. Let's go this way. I mean, most of the market would roll it with all emotions. For example, take an example of FOMO, right? So it's inevitable for the market to go crazy on emotions, but still you need to like keep it like the cold blood with it, and keep it balanced when it comes to you, and to trade not only relying on your emotions, but using it in a practical way. This is my general tip when it comes to trading, and for these new buys and for traders itself, generally.
Yeah,
I agree.
add a little bit onto that. Like, I think it's like a balance of learning to kind of trade with your emotions a little bit. You know, people say don't trade emotionally. I trade with my intuition all the time. You know, with what I feel. But I think
you already bought like Verge top 3 times this week.
Shut up,
yeah, we can say that.
I did not do that.
There's a few people here that we need to shame for buying.
Yeah, when you just said he bought Tron and Verge and BitConnect all last night.
It's all but I think what I'm getting at is like, I think people need to realize like there's a difference between trading emotionally and trading with fear. You know, I think a lot of people when they say don't trade emotionally, they mean like don't trade like with reaction to fear. Like
and FOMO.
Yeah, exactly. Fear of missing out. Don't react to it. You know, and I think that's a super important point because there's a lot of trades that I make where I'm like, yo, I'm really feeling this, and the chart looks good and everything else lines up, but it's also like a feeling like this is something that I should really do, and it works out. But every single time that I'm reacting, either buying a trade or selling a coin based off of fear of what might happen if I don't or if I do, that always ends up shitty. It always ends up really bad.
Right, I think we should shield some coins. Like we have 50 minutes left, so yeah.
I think that's the next
Get on
point.
to the eponymous activity.
We still cannot hear you very clearly, Captain.
You're full robot now, bro.
Yeah.
Right, ignore me.
I think we need to kill some mics in this podcast, guys.
God damn. Birb,
We will give a Bitcoin address by the end of it so that you can donate and we can buy microphones both for Burb and Captain. So we can have normal podcasts.
Feel free, guys. Feel free.
What the hell?
So Birb, you mentioned Blue Zell, that you were bullish on Blue Zell as a project. What other coins you looking at, man?
I'm actually, I'm when it comes to my trading systems in general, I'm always for spreading and keeping the balance in your portfolio to manage it easily actually, and it's like fixed percentage of to me, for example, in my opinion, what works is giving the fixed percentage ratios for the coins that are like mid-terms, short-terms, very short terms, and shit coins even, and the long terms itself. I mean, it's all about keeping the balance out there. And when it comes to the mid and the long term, I would call like the ZEC coin. I would,
Zcash.
Oh crap!
What?
That's a surprising choice.
No. Can you repeat? Because I must misheard you.
Did you say
that's
Zcash? Zcash for Americans.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm not totally fan when it comes to the fundamentals. Generally, I believe the fundamentals play the role, of course, and the role is the very important. But still, there are so many shit coins, that are people are earning like millions, dollars on each, but still there are shit coins, right? So that's still, I believe it's all about keeping the balance in the portfolio to the very short mid. And the example for the midterm, like the easy one when it comes to the low volatility level, would be, for example, the ZOG, the ZEC, the ETC. As I'm saying, I'm not totally like for the fundamentals, but it's still like the nice portfolio, spread to have some funds inside to keep it like with low volatility generally.
Okay. What about you, Nai? What are you shilling today?
I've already shilled a few bags in the last couple podcasts, so I'm just gonna do something real quick. Juan, Juan chain.
Yeah, we know.
I think it's
No.
you guys have heard of it,
What about Verge? Totally. Every top.
I ain't shilling Verge. If you're not selling Verge in the next 2 or 3 days, you're gonna watch it just get completely wrecked.
You hate money. Oshis.
But yeah, I'm liking what Juan Chain's doing. I'm up like 35, 40% from my buy-in, like last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever that was. And that's my long bag right now. I'm gonna keep adding to my Juan long bag, the more profits I get. And I'm also looking at a few KuCoin coins. I think that KuCoin is kind of the gateway to Binance. I think a lot of coins that take the process of going to different exchanges, they first go to KuCoin and then they move to Binance. A lot of the guys I trade with and I have that discussion and I've shared that. So I'm kind of looking at a few of those coins over there, like Deep Brain Chain and some MWAT. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that's getting ready to pop. So I'm just excited.
All right, then time. I'll have a quick shill of 2 coins then. First one is Haven, which tweeted about before. It's like the new Anon coin on our favorite exchange, Trade Ogre, whatever you call it, with this interesting burning and minting mechanism, which keeps the value stable. It's a quite new technology. It's below 1 million cap right now. It's got active development. It's like not much hype yet, not much volume. It's like 2-3 weeks straight, I guess, for some nice gains because it's not even on CoinMarketCap yet, and the volume was good enough. 2 days ago, I think, that they might have gotten listed. I don't really know. And the second one is Lynx. It's a shitcoin on Cryptopia. It don't. It is a total shitcoin. Like fundamentally, it's just like a coin for the music industry. It's like and basically that's it. But it's around 1 million market cap. It has a the payment system starting at the 1st of May with one of the retail partners, and they're spending a lot of money on like big name marketing and stuff. There's only like 21 coins in circulation, and from the TA perspective, it's like at the absolute bottom right now. And it really likes to go with cycles with really strong pumps. So it's like one of the classic coins that you should have for a next season of cycles. It's like guaranteed ×5 ×10 if this platform start will be successful. So yeah.
Versa, what about you, brother? What are you looking at?
So yeah, I said it on the other podcast, but I'll just shill two very quickly. First of all, of course, I'm just gonna say it's my biggest bag, so I'm maybe a bit biased. Dragon Chain. What makes me bullish on them long? Shout out to Dragon Holder in the chat if he's still there, man. That guy's dedicated to shilling Dragon every fucking day.
So dedicated.
But yeah, Dragon Chain. What makes me like bullish on them? First of all, their market cap's a joke. It's like $170 million or something. But they're extremely compliant in general, and especially in the US. Like the reason I spoke to, I don't know if it was the CEO or whatever, it was someone in Telegram. It wasn't an admin, okay? It wasn't a random person. He told me that they can't offer any amount of money to go on an exchange because then they could risk not becoming US compliant if they paid to get on an exchange. So the fact they're extremely compliant just makes me bullish in the long run. You know, if they bring in new laws and stuff, I think Dragon will have zero problems with that. And then quickly, my second shill that I shilled last time was Request Network. Basically, it's like a decentralized PayPal, and the reason I'm picking that is it's got a very big partnership with PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is the biggest accounting firm in the world, and just the fact that PayPal will never be able to compete with Request Network because of how cheap its fees will be, and PayPal, you know, has shareholders, they're going to have to be profitable, so PayPal will just not be able to compete with Request Network. So those are my two quick shills. What about you, Captain?
My robot?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, come on, we can accept the robot. Quick shill.
This is gonna be a ICO shill. It's called Menlo. We just had a awesome Q&A with them, with their CEO. It's not coming out for a while. I think the public sale is going to be sometime in July. But when it does come out, it's essentially going to solve a lot of the ICO problems we have now, with it being difficult for other companies to do an ICO. So,
dude, July sounds like the worst.
Yeah. Someone in chat wrote, and just answer very quickly, everyone. I'll answer first. Are you in these projects for the money, or are you in it for the tech? First, quickly, for Dragon, for everything, no bullshit. Of course, I'm in it for the money. I don't care.
Everyone is for the money.
Everyone is in it for the money. You're not in it for
very few projects. I mean, come on.
Wow, guys.
I'm actually knowing that guy, you know, my Polish mate at Warsaw School of Economics, that is holding like the whole Bitcoin. I believe he's had like 12 Bitcoin 2-3 months ago, and he was like saying to me, "Oh man, I'm like millions zlotys on that. So yeah, I'm a holder, you know, moon and 1 moon and so this stuff." And I guess he's right, pretty wrecked at this moment with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Well, give him few years.
And he was saying like here he's only for technology and so on, you know, and he's like the direct guy simply.
I mean,
he's basically a MMA right now.
Answer that question on my end. Like, I'm in the trading for money, but I'm in the space for the technology and for what's going on with it. You know, like, yeah, obviously I don't sit on the computer and make trades every single day to watch and learn about technology, but the benefit of that is the fact that I do get to learn about this technology, and I do kind of like we are at like the front edge of a whole new industry that's going to change like so many different other industries that are currently functioning in the world once the gap is really bridged. So yeah, I'm in it for the money, and dude, I can't lie, I'm fucking stoked on the technology. So,
What I can show as a third choice or second one, however you wish, would be the Wabi. Wabi. I don't know how you spell it. I mean, I kind of like the project. I mean, it's like having the in the next quarters of the year. It's like having it is set to have like the big level of development. It is like the app, for the solving the real problems when it comes to buying experience for customers. It's like the app, to to buy, to shop. Uh, this is I've got a few inside infos from the community, and as I've heard, this might be pumping pretty good in next 2 months, I believe.
yeah, I've been watching Wabi as well. That's a good one, Birb. I dig it.
Someone wrote a very good question in the chat again. And sorry for interrupting you guys.
Yeah,
Dragonhold wrote, don't you guys think it's problematic that everyone is in for the money and won't actually use tokens for real world use cases? Well, some use a bit, but not very serious amounts. I think that's a very, very good question.
I think we are so early in the technology. Like none of the projects right now allow even people to use those tokens, because it's not even working yet. We can talk about real adoption in a few years, I guess, but right now, when many of the premier projects won't have anything in a year or two, I mean, let's not fool ourselves. It's nobody's going to pay for stuff with tokens right now, and those platforms. Yeah.
No, don't continue.
Yeah, I got stuck right now, so you have to continue.
Sorry, I was trying to say about the power ledger coin. I mean, this is like the good example, for the real usage for the technology, supported by the Australian government. I believe this is when it comes to the using the cryptocurrencies. It's like not the main body of the technology. It's like the very top, it's like the top of the tip of the iceberg when you imagine it as an iceberg in a positive way. Because the most important part would be the technology. That is, like the point of interest, as I said a few times today, for governments, for world governments, and I believe the real usage, the real, using the technology in more spheres, more sectors, would be when the government actually would support that publicly. This would surely influence all the markets, to have the real use for that, I believe.
Okay, and maybe one more thing, the moment when people will start using cryptocurrencies, it will be also the moment when the space will be pretty mature already. Right now, the money is being made because everything is based on speculation, and when that ends, when there are only few really good companies left, that's when also crypto is going to be a lot less profitable, but it will be finally adopted into normal business. So from the investor's perspective, you actually should be hoping this would last for some time still before really get a good adoption.
And still, I would say the good description for the current, our being when it comes to the crypto market, where we are at this moment, would be the latest, one of the latest ICO, this fuck ups and this BitConnect, fraud stuff. I can't remember the real name for the ICO, but it was something like they gathered $30 million. Can't remember clearly, and cut out on the whole contact with the community. The managers, developers, stopped answering any telegrams and so on, and they like left their clients left the community with the website, with the blank website, and in the left corner there was like a penis. This is like, I believe, a good description when how immature actually we are when it comes to the technology and the cryptocurrency issue itself.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, guys, that's been an hour.
Should we quickly go over a tip each, very quickly?
Like 10 seconds each?
Yeah, 10 seconds each. Let's all give one quick tip for staying safe in the market as well as making good profits.
Okay, so take profits. That's the number one tip. Don't hold this crap forever, especially that we are still not out of the woods yet. Even if you get like 20-30%, I mean, don't be afraid to take at least part of your bag into the profits. You can always rebuy something else, or you won't regret taking profit. I mean, it never happened.
All right, Captain.
That pretty much is exactly my advice. I know I sound like a robot right now. Take profit. Don't be afraid. I've never regretted taking profit. I've been sad, like, oh man, too bad, I could have made more money. But your only real regret is when you sell too late. So don't do that.
Yeah, I forgot. Don't do robots.
Don't do robots.
Nye, did you give yours? Yeah, yours was take profit, or
no, you go last.
Sorry, Captain and Nye, you guys sound so fucking similar. All right, well, my advice, I'm not gonna go crazy like last time and tell everyone that they're lazy fucks, but yeah, my advice is, like, as we spoke a bit in the podcast, just use the internet to learn. It's the best free tool we have. That's my advice.
I dig it. And for me, just stay patient, guys, and stop over trading. You know, too many people are moving between too many coins all the time. Don't overtrade. And yeah, with that, guys, this is episode number 3 of Netflix and Shill. Yo, Birb, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Birb, bro.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Last question. When?
right now.
Soon.
When
All right, we'll provide a Bitcoin address now so you guys can donate to.
Me too. Wait for it.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back next week with episode 4.
Awesome. Talk to you all.